There aren't many Christmas games, and on paper the Grinch actually looked promising. Photorealistic graphics, smooth performance, Christmas cheer baked right in. The PlayStation has never coughed this hard. We're mastering the game with RetroAchievements. If you're new here, welcome, there's links below. Our job is to ruin Christmas, squashing presents and breathing on people, which sounds kinda stalkerish until you realise his breath could knock out a rhino. Let's make sure Whoville remembers Christmas for all the wrong reasons. Slow down in the intro, we're in for a riot. The Grinch accidentally sends his blueprints flying all over and we're let loose in downtown Whoville to get them back. Each stage gives us a bunch of objectives and every present needs squashing. We need a paintbrush to defile the mayor's posters, but we can get to flattening snowmen straight away. We can egg these speakers later for presents and to avoid being hugged. I shouldn't have been able to grab that. These eggs power our devices. Breathing on Who's gets them to drop presents, and don't worry about those high up for now, as we'll be back with the Grinch copter later. Like Lara, the Grinch can swing on poles. Unlike Lara, he barely responds to the controls, so every pole fills me with dread. Despite dodging our breath, we send the painter flying to grab the paint pot, so we can get to work graffitiing the posters dotted around. Always grab these blueprints. Triangle lets us sneak inside and we find our first disguise. We can't reach the second floor yet, so we bail and grab another blueprint. I had to Google this because I was convinced I was doing something wrong, but no, turns out the game is just terrible and shouldn't be this janky. Jesus Christ, that was painful. We keep smoshing snowmen, painting posters and grabbing blueprints. Next level gaming. Phone boxes let us disguise ourselves. We enter the sorting office, switch to max with select, and use the vents to let the Grinch shuffle the mail. In their infinite wisdom, the devs color-coded each area because the assets are reused constantly. That done, we're rewarded with this Golden Globe-worthy cutscene.
Who are you? Well, you're
the Grinch!
We have 14 golden hours of this. Shuffling the blueprints we've collected. Back at base, we're able to construct the rotten egg launcher before heading back to downtown Whoville. Get used to backtracking. Someone pass me the eggnog. We can break ice walls for hidden presents, but our real goal now is egging the open windows. This took me another hour. I found all but the last one and resorted to running laps of the area. Make sure you egg the top of the tree for an easily missed gift, and here's the window I missed. Insanity slowly rising. Shoot the clock with the egg launcher to open City Hall. Head downstairs and move the slightly taller filing cabinets for the final blueprints for the binoculars. We sneak past the guards to another room, find a hidden safe with sculpting tools, then head opposite into a room with lasers and a statue. Jump the invisible lasers and make sure you're exactly next to the button to disable security, then...
Time for a facelift, Mr. Mayor!
Back at base, we assemble the binoculars and head to the Who Forest.
He heads for Who Forest, where there's plenty of snow. He calls to Max.
To Winter Wonderland we go!
Okay, time to be blunt. This game is really a continuing the proud theme of ruining things. We're tasked with pelting the Eskimos so we can breathe on trees to wilt them, and throwing beehives into cabins. Not knowing what gadgets I'd get later, I spent another 20 minutes knocking beehives out of a tree, getting stung repeatedly, and watching the Grinch bounce off some invisible wall like a festive DVD screensaver, before finally discovering that a butt bounce gets you up there. Spoiler, a later gadget gives you the extra jump height. I love how the developers kept that a secret. Cheers, guys! We can breathe on these guys so they don't eat the hives. It just sometimes takes another go, or 50 thanks to the hitboxes. We nab more blueprints for the rocket spring and more poles. There's about 1/100th of a second between jumping long and jumping high, so this took a stab at my sanity. At the top there's another blueprint, and make sure you breathe, then butt bounce the snowball throwers for an extra present. Just off the edge we snatch the glue bucket, and on the other side there's another blueprint behind the cabin, and another further along, before we take a long shot at the distant target to access the lift. Riding the lift up grabs our final blueprint. We sort the blueprints and score the rocket spring. Now the game opens up a bit. Back in downtown Whoville, we sneak past the guard and use the rocket spring to gain access to the upper floors. Pull all 3 levers and descend. Line them up to drop the platform, push the block to raise the platform, then drop it again for upstairs access. The next floor is a little bit more complex. Note the cogs aren't even touching each other, which threw me off. Get the bottom cog out, then push the box to shove the cog in. Move the box and whoops. Then raise the box to complete the puzzle. The top floor is easy. Send Max through the hole, nab the blueprint and hammer, check the picture, then hit the bells in colour order. Hit the bellman and every Whoville needs a Whovillain is ours. Finally!
Yeah, Grinched!
Our first achievement. We'll be back for the last presents later, but for now it's back to Who Forest to finish off the remaining beehives helped along by the rocket spring. I forgot to hit record, but the snow cannon is up top and we can pour the glue in from here. With the beehives complete, we can finally access the cabins and a final blueprint lets us construct the slime shooter. This bad boy slimes those annoying bees so we can shoot the chest for the cable car access card. We make our way quickly, the game is already overstaying its welcome. A word to the wise, the game is so broken that sometimes presents just don't spawn here, meaning if you're unlucky you can get entirely locked out of the mastery. Festive. We have to slime these guys, then breathe on them. Another bug promptly teleported me somewhere else entirely. This is a heart of stone. There's one hidden in plain sight in each stage and collecting all 4 bags another achievement. This fella blocking the cave is so hard to get rid of I initially thought it was impossible. We send Max into the cave to grab another Grinch copter blueprint. The next bit requires aiming at the snow to make it fall on the dog. Dash in, slime the skis, done. Onto the Who dump, which means thank the gods we're nearly halfway. The level design here uses several enclosed spaces blocked off by electricity, so it's best to clear everything in each section before moving on. Here we get nitro eggs, which are vital for destroying the floating orbs and mini robots. The robots drop parts we need, and we shoot the birds with food as we go. We also need to swing on these metal poles to connect the pipes. Finally, we butt bounce to reach a button. Don't miss the pipe down here, and we temporarily turn off the electric fence, then dash to the next area. Here it's basically rinse and repeat. The subtle arrow shows where we drop off those parts, and a little later we use Max to coax some rats into a hole to infest the mayor's house. No idea why the house is attached to a dump, a visual representation of the game perhaps. I forgot to hit record again, probably because I was losing the will to live, but we jump across some mattresses, enter a garage, grab some scissors, then sneak in to shave the dump guardian. Then we head back to construct the octopus climbing device. If the entire game is starting to feel like it's a lame fetch quest, you're bang on the money. Ugh. Back in Who Forest, we can now scale the ice walls for more presents and access to a new area. Here, we pull a lever, scale the wall, then cross the bridge and shoot the target for a firework. There are a bunch more of these targets scattered around the area. We knock down the sign so we can access the cabin shortly. Inside the cave, we knock down the icicles to use as platforms, although the game can glitch and make them disappear when you leave the cave. Hosanna in Excelsis. Another hellish swinging section nets a firework stick, and we shoot these guys off the ledges, who are far too happy for this game, for the final fireworks. Into the cabin, candles replaced, and branching out is hours before we're treated to the Grinch looking like he's about to shit himself on a cliff.
Ha ha.
Back in Who Dump, we can slime the cameras and scale the wall. Here we breathe on the fan to activate the lift, as you do, then shoot the buttons to deactivate each line and head across with all the pace of a mollusk.
24 hours later.
Seriously, why the hell does it take so long? At the other end of the decade, we send Max to activate the switches so we can finally progress. Then we breathe again and hitch a ride before an unnecessarily long zip line to the final area. We're treated to these annoying guys who hop about like dipshits before scaling more walls and deactivating switches for smells like success. Our last area is Who Lake, which is thankfully less infuriating unless I've simply been ground down to nothing. Here we're gathering thistles to shoot shorts, although in this game even a direct hit doesn't always connect. We butt bounce tents and spend another 10 minutes wrestling the sketchy mechanics. At the top, we pocket the blueprint and enter the cabin. This guy acts like we're invisible when we shoot him head on, but somehow wakes up when we're standing at his side. We slowly strip him of his clothes before getting him to seal his own fate. This grants us access to North Shore and a precise platforming challenge that the controls simply aren't up to. We slam the rock for another blueprint, then turn Max into a skunk to lead another one over and scare away the scout. After a small diversion, we enter a hut to find a drill. This leads into a timed swinging challenge. Hooray! Thankfully, holding jump quickly gets us across the ravine for another blueprint. We get "and his heart grew 3 sizes" that day for the final heart of stone, and move on to drilling holes in boats. A final blueprint and we construct the marine mobile to start exploring Who Lake. This thing handles like a toaster on an ice rink. Here we're grabbing pearls to begin constructing a sleigh for the long overdue finale. Make sure you surface for more presents and smack sea cows to release even more. There's a not-so-hidden wall, an icicle drop for a part, and the final piece lets us scare the scouts while the Grinch squats like he's constipated. At North Shore, we grab the penultimate blueprint, then cross the waterfall for the final Grinch copter blueprint, which we hastily assemble. Time to round up the remaining presents with the copter in downtown Whoville, as well as sliming the speakers, the security guards, and shooting the van for another sleigh part. The last present hidden high earns us no time like the Christmas present. In Who Forest, Max has to race this guy to the cable car. I love how the game fails to remove the on-screen options the entire time. At this point, nothing is unexpected and polish is a word that doesn't exist. Most of the remaining presents are up high, including this one hidden behind the trees. They only draw in at close range, which is incredibly helpful. Thank God Now Just Ski What You've Done didn't glitch out on me. In the dump I thought I had to glide for these, turns out you can just shoot them. There's one craftily hidden behind the pipe. While we're here, we move the chess pieces to match the guide for another sleigh part and a couple more presents directly above for who dumped all these gifts. At Who Lake, we can finally avoid those wretched swinging poles, and we can casually kill some moose before the final challenge here, collecting the scout scarves. We knock this guy off and have an annoying skybound race in the copter to get the final scout, which drags on for far longer than it needs to. There are a few more presents hidden above the waterfall and we swap the scarves for a hook. The last presents score they were washed away by the Yuletide, I swear, and a couple of well-placed shots, a wardrobe change, followed by a butt bounce gets us access to unlock Scout's Dishonor.
Boy, I'm good.
In a moment of triumph, the sleigh is completed. Now the Whos and their plans are surely defeated.
A few minigames and a handful of achievements and we can finally put this Christmas crap down. A minigame with swinging poles? Holy f***. We need to do the minigames on real tough difficulty. My best advice here is to hold jump to go straight across, pausing only for the higher swings. Somehow I nailed this in 10 minutes for Green Olympic Gymnast. Even on real tough difficulty, the copter race is a joke. Just remember to plan a few seconds ahead thanks to the sluggish controls, and mad props is yours. Pankamania is also a piece of piss. Just don't slam the lighter coloured pumpkins and you'll be filled with festive fever when Pumpkin King wrong franchise pops. A hint at next year's Christmas game, maybe? The final showdown has us collecting 10 presents before egging Santa for the meaning of Christmas.
I believe our work here is finished.
Welcome Christmas for Hoorama.
Enough of that, thank you. Our closing game is a motorbike ride. As long as you remember the hitboxes on each obstacle are bigger than Santa's arse, you'll net the final achievement with the Grinch, and it's mastered. Merry Christmas, folks. I need a Xanax. Nostalgia slaps hardest.